Hey everyone, how's it going? So I want to walk you through shortages and surpluses and what would happen here. So you guys are all business people. You want to make a lot of money, and you're thinking about starting a coffee business. I'm going to start a coffee business because see these students come in, and I know it's hard to imagine, but students are tired when they come into economics. I find it very riveting, but some students don't find it as fascinating as I do. So outside of Grupp Hall at our Newtown campus, early in the morning, 8 o'clock, as students are stumbling down the path to their classes, I'm going to set up a table and have a bunch of coffees sitting out there. All right. So the first thing I want you to do is go ahead and obviously print out the worksheet and fill in your quantity demanded and fill in your quantity supplied. And then you're going to go ahead and put price on your y-axis. You can go by 50-cent increments and quantity on the x-axis. And then go ahead and graph your coordinates, 0 and 100, and that's your blue demand curve, and red is your supply curve. All right, so the first day up, I want to, maybe offer my coffee fairly cheap, so I'm going to just charge 50 cents. So if I charge 50 cents, and then I'm only going to have about 10 cups of coffee because I'm not sure if a lot of people are going to buy them. Plus, I'm only making 50 cents a cup of coffee. I don't want to work too long, and I can't hire anyone else. So let's see what happens here. So first day I'm sitting out there, students are coming down, 50 cents, and they start to line up at my table to buy these coffees, all right? Then I come to find out there's actually 90 quantity demanded. So there's 90 students standing in line. I only had 10 cups of coffee sitting on my table. So what's going to happen? I'm going to have 80 customers that are unhappy because I have a shortage. I have a shortage of 80. So how does that look on my demand curve? So if you look at the 50-cent point, you have 10 customers and 90 cups of coffee. So obviously I did not do such a good job at pricing my coffee, and I did not supply enough to meet that. So that shortage is not a good thing. So the second day, I'm going to obviously think a little bit better, and I'm going to increase my price up to $1. I'm going to double my price. Well, $1 is still pretty cheap, so I have 80 customers sitting there, and now I have 40 cups of coffee sitting on my table. Well, I still have a shortage, so I still have 40 as a shortage. I have 40 customers that didn't get the cups of coffee. 80 customers are standing there, and 40 cups on my table. So the next day, I increased my price up to $1.50. All right, that $1.50, these 80 customers, there's 10 customers that say, the heck with you, Professor Coca, I'm not paying that extra 50 cents. But 70 students are still willing to buy it. I now have 70 cups of coffee sitting on my table. Since the price is higher, I'm able to either pay another worker, or I'm willing to work more hours to supply those 70 cups of coffee. All right. So as you can see here, as I increase my price, based on the law of demand, we know quantity demanded goes down. So based on this coffee example, I have customers that step out of line, plus I'm willing to supply more to the marketplace. It might not just be my table, but again, based on the law of supply, maybe some other students say, oh, Professor Coca, he has a lot of customers there. I'm going to compete with them. So I'm going to set up my table, and I'm going to start offering coffee, all right? Ultimately, it's going to get to the equilibrium. We don't know what that equilibrium is, but we'll find out as we increase price up to $1.50. So now I have 70 cups of coffee. There's 70 customers sitting there, and everyone's happy. The equilibrium is like gravity in the marketplace. So it's always going to push towards that equilibrium. So let's see if I'm more greedy. So I want to start my price at $3 and see if I can maximize profit by doing that. All right, so the next day, bright and early, I have my coffee sitting out there. I have 200 cups of coffee because I want to make a lot of profit. I set it at $3. Students come stumbling down the walkway, and only 60 students step in line. All right, so maybe the students, just like myself, really need that coffee. And 60 students staying in line, but I have 200 cups of coffee sitting there. So again, 60 would be on our demand curve, 200 supply. So what's happened now? We have a surplus of 140 cups of coffee. I have 140 cups of coffee sitting there. Again, maybe another student's competing with me. Maybe I have 70 cups of coffee, and the other student has 70 cups of coffee sitting there as well. So what am I going to do? Well, if I want to sell those cups of coffee, or my competitor wants to sell their cups of coffee, they're going to, excuse me, they're going to lower the price down, all right? So the price gets lowered to $2.50. Well, now we have 63, so 3 customers step in line, and I drop my quantity to 50, 150, all right? So ultimately, as you can see here, as I continue to drop the price, where is it going to get to? Right back to that $1.50. So again, the equilibrium is all about how our free market works. You want to price the product accordingly, and it ultimately will push down to that equilibrium. All right, the only thing I can tell you based on my experience, generally, shortages and surpluses are pretty easy for students to grasp, but this is a really important concept. Most of you are business majors, so you should understand if the price is too high, you could clearly have a surplus. If the price is too low, you're going to have a shortage. In chapter 10, chapter 6, we do get into whether we should have minimum wage controls, and that deals with shortages and surpluses. Same thing with rent controls. All right, so what I want you to do is print out the worksheet, complete it just as I did. Go ahead and take a picture or a scan and upload it into Canvas. Thank you very much. Good work.